The Fox 35 Storm Team is tracking the tropics, and since last evening, we now have a 70% chance of development for this area of disturbed weather out across the Western Caribbean. We are monitoring a couple other waves in the open Atlantic, one that now has a 40% chance of development, likely going to become a depression later on in the work week. Then we have another slimmer chance with a wave out across the Central Atlantic, only at a 10% chance here over the next 7 days. But the main concern is this area in the Caribbean and eventually the Gulf that now has that 70% chance again of formation over the next week. And now the National Hurricane Center has added in a 10% chance of development over the next 48 hours. I do think, though, we will at least have an area of low pressure forming over the next 48 hours. So that's what we're going to continue to watch. One thing I've noticed, and I think this has been a pretty good trend, we've now seen what we call the ensembles, or the blend of many different atmospheric scenarios all rolled into one. We always look at the two big ones, the Euro and the GFS ensembles, and now they've started to come together and show a more congealed scenario. And I really think all of the Gulf Coast needs to be on high alert and watch and wait and listen to our latest forecast. But I would say from the Louisiana Gulf Coast eastbound through the Panhandle, through the Big Bend, especially want to watch this closely, and we're going to be doing the same, as this could bring greater impacts in those areas. But either way, we're all going to likely get some tropical rains from this area of low pressure as we head through the next week. This is the depression potential from the ensemble. Look at the chance of this as it moves over the Yucatan into the open Gulf as we head through next weekend. A good chance, a likelihood, an 80 to 90% chance as we head through the latter half of the work week. And one of the big reasons why, as we have so much warmth in the Gulf, in the Caribbean, and we'll talk a little more about that in a moment, but the Storm Team, what we're watching is, of course, the timing, because I think that's really key, not only in the system itself, but with the ingredients across the country and how it steers what would eventually become Tropical Storm Helene if it does form into one. I do think the area of low pressure is going to form close to the Yucatan Monday into Tuesday over the next 48 hours or so. But looking further into time, tropical rains here at home locally possible across the Sunshine State by week's end. And I'm thinking at least here for Central Florida in that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday time frame as this area of low pressure continues to work off to the north-northeast. And as it forms, I think it's going to strengthen quickly because of how warm the Gulf and the Caribbean are. That's going to add fuel to the fire, and it's also, this system, going to encounter a little wind shear. And remember, in tornadic situations, wind shear actually helps those tornadoes form. But with hurricanes and tropical systems, wind shear tears them down. So minimal wind shear will allow these storms to strengthen even more so and strengthen quicker. And I think that's what this system will be encountering, the warmth in the Gulf and Caribbean and minimal wind shear. Look at our readings here, mid to upper 80s in the Caribbean and the Gulf, and that's only going to make things strengthen faster here as we watch this system unfold over the next few days. Now, as we head through time, you definitely want to stay with us for the latest, because I know we're going to have updates throughout the week, not only on air, but online as well, and they'll be coming right to your Fox 35 Storm Team app. You can have all of that in the palm of your hand. Again, this would be Tropical Storm Helene if it does get named. So we're going to be watching closely in the Weather Center over the next few days and keep you ahead of all this as all of these details continue to come in line and unfold. Have a great day.